Hello, my friends. Welcome back to our lectures. In today's lecture, inshallah, we'll be discussing a very interesting novel called The Giver by Lois Lowry. First of all, let's get to know the author Lois Lowry. She was born in the territory of Hawaii in 1937 and spent most of her childhood in Pennsylvania. Her father was a dentist in World War II, which caused her family to move all around the world. After high school, Lowry attended Brown University, and in her sophomore year, she got married to a naval officer, dropped out of college, and moved to California. She received her BA in English Literature from the University of Southern Maine, and her first children's book was A Summer to Die, which was published in 1977. And here are some other readings by Lois Lowry. Anastasia Kirping, 1979. Find a Stranger, Say Goodbye, 1990. Rabel Starkey, 2001. The Silent Boy, 2003. Autumn Street, 2006. And Looking Back, 2007. In the introduction of The Giver, 11-year-old Jonas lives in what seemed to be a perfect community. There is no crime, hunger, or poverty. Everyone knows exactly how to behave and what their responsibilities are, but Jonas feels apprehension about the ceremony of 12, which he'll be participating in. In the rising action of the novel, Jonas lives with his mother, Sister Lily, and father, a nurturer who cares for babies or new children. Father has brought home a new child named Gabriel for extra nurturing, concerned that if a child doesn't develop more quickly, he be slated for release. Jonas isn't sure what release is, but he knows that it involves leaving the community and going elsewhere. When the day of the ceremony arrives, Jonas is selected by the Council of Elders to be the next receiver of memory, the most honored title in the community. Jonas begins his training the next day, and the present receiver is an old man who tells Jonas to call him the Giver. He has been in that role for most of his life, and his job is to be the keeper of the community's collective memory, not only from recent years, but for generations. The community gave up its memories when it began to quest for sameness, a plan that involved creating a uniform geography and climate, and discouraging individuality, including skin color and all kinds. Sameness also involved eliminating choice, emotions, and memories, all of which could cause unhappiness and pain. Jonas experiences seeing color for the first time and learns about love, death, war, suffering, and joy. And he grows increasingly impatient with his community's sameness and almost meaningless existence, marked by a total lack of choice. Jonas learns the tragic story of the giver's daughter, who held the position before him. In the climax of the novel, Jonas learns that the release is death and that little Gabriel would be killed. In the following action, Jonas and the giver concoct a plan of escape from the community, and Jonas does taking Gabriel with him. Eventually, Jonas finds a sled bridge on the top of the hill, as though left for him far beyond the community. And finally, in the resolution, he and Gabriel race down the hill to where he hopes the people are waiting for him with love and warmth elsewhere. We have three key characters in our novel The Giver. At first, we have Jonas. Jonas begins the novel as a bright, inquisitive boy who's curious about what he observes, but who really doesn't question the overall structure of rules of society he lives in. But once he begins training with the giver, Jonas becomes aware of everything the community has sacrificed in order to avoid pain and achieve a tranquil, efficient way of life. They have relinquished all memories to the care of the receiver because memories can cause suffering. Jonas becomes increasingly frustrated with his community and eventually angry at their willingness to settle for bland, meaningless existence, and realizes that the release, which he thought was just leaving the community, is a euphemism for death. Next, we have the giver. The giver is the most important of the community's elders, the receiver of memories, a position responsible for storing the collective memories and a history of the world, going back generations, and for advising the council of elders. This burden of keeping memories had made the giver somewhat bitter and resentful of his role, feelings that grow nearly unbearable after his daughter killed herself after choosing to be the next receiver of memories. And now we have the father. At the beginning of the story, father is portrayed as a kind and wise man. Father gravitated toward the job of nurture when he was young. Toward the end of the novel, Jonas realizes that the father has no real capacity for love. His complete lack of emotion and his ability to kill the innocent show how the strict control by the government can turn an essentially gentleman into someone who can behave as if he is lacking in humanity. The story is told by a third-person narrator whose point of view is limited to what Jonas observes and thinks. Point of view. The story is told completely from Jonas's point of view. We see all the actions and events through Jonas's eyes and do not have access to any information to which Jonas doesn't have access to. Setting, time, and an unspecified time in the future. Place, a utopian community that is part of a larger utopian society. And now we have symbols. First of all, the sled. This is the first memory that Jonas receives as the giver. The sled symbolizes the journey that Jonas takes while being the receiver of memories. Next, we have the new child Gabriel. Gabriel is a symbol of hope and starting over for Jonas. Gabriel represents the memories that Jonas has obtained. He tries to save Gabriel, and during this, he begins to lose his memories. And finally, the river. The river runs in through the community and out into the other world elsewhere. The river symbolizes the escape that could take place within the village. And the river took Caleb's life, and the community didn't see this coming, something that they couldn't predict. Jonas takes advantage of this and uses this information to try and change the ways of his community. So that's it for today, my friends. Thank you for watching.